Today I want to talk about the Spirit of God. And I'd like to do a little demonstration for you first, and then hopefully that'll tie in with the message. So we have this microphone here. You can hear me well in the microphone? Can you hear me okay? Check the volume here. You hear me okay? Now this microphone was constructed for a very special purpose, to be able to take your voice and make it loud enough that everybody can hear it. But Nathan, I need your help for this demonstration. While I'm talking, would you go over to the wall and unplug the microphone? All right? I'm going to unplug the microphone. I'm going to keep talking, and you tell me, well, is there a difference now? That's a big difference. Can you hear me okay?
No.
Not as well. And go ahead and plug that back in. Now, Nathan's, there's the microphone's plugged back in. What a difference. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate that. Now, this microphone is only good if we put power into it. You notice that? And that's a special kind of power. It's an unseen power that we put into it. It's electricity. And without that power in this microphone, it really just doesn't do anything. No work is being done. And think about that as we look into the Spirit of God. Because the Spirit of God is a power as well. And if that power is not in us, we're just like that microphone with nothing going on. And we need the Spirit of God. We need His power to be able to do things for Him. Otherwise, we're just a vessel, just something made with hands, but really doing nothing. And in the beginning, Genesis chapter 1 and verse 2, in the beginning, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. There's the Spirit of God, right there in the beginning. The Spirit is a power which emanates from God. And here God is using His Spirit. He's up in heaven, using His Spirit to move over this void and darkness upon the face of the waters, ready to use His power to do things. So we see that His Spirit has been there right from the beginning. And when God created all things, now He used His voice, right? We know that Hebrews 1:1 tells us that Jesus was with the Father. Jesus is the Word of God. So whenever God used His Word, He spoke. And His Word is Jesus, and the Word became flesh. So we know Jesus was the co-creator with God. And it was through the Spirit that the power was put out there. God using His Spirit through His Son. And He created all things. And in that first week, after each day of creation, God reviewed all things, and He looked upon His creation and said, "It is good." All things from His Spirit are good. Yes. All things that God does are good. And every work that His Spirit performs is a good work. This is how we know the Spirit of God. It's all goodness. And there is tremendous power in goodness. You know, we look at the world today and we see the power of armies, the power of mighty men, the power of great nations moving. And we look at people in business and we see, that person, that's a powerful person in business, but they're cutthroat and aggressive, not thinking for a moment about stepping on somebody else to get to where they have to be. And this is kind of where a lot of the world is today. And we look at goodness and meekness and kindness and gentleness as almost a form of weakness, don't we? You know, this is kind of how the world views these things. Just like we studied this morning with Moses, he was a man meeker than almost any other that you would know. That was the great strength of Moses. He had that confidence, he had that ability to be meek. That was the great thing about Jesus. He was so full of God's Spirit, he could be meek. It takes great power to be meek. Great power. Because you have to have everything under control. You have to have discipline. You can't let pride get you. What happened to Adam and Eve in the garden? They allowed pride to come into their hearts. Satan said, if you eat of this fruit, ye shall become as gods. Oh, I'd like to be like a god. That's what they thought. Knowing good and evil. And so we see a different spirit in Satan, don't we? Children, what kind of spirit did we see in Satan? An evil spirit. Why was Satan's spirit evil? What did Satan do that was evil? Oh, he wanted to be more powerful than God. What did Adam and Eve do that was of an evil spirit? Tried to become like God. Did they obey God? What did they do? They disobeyed. That is an evil spirit. An evil spirit will disobey God. Disobedience is a different spirit than obedience. Would you agree with me on that? Sure. If we have the Spirit of God, what would we do? We would obey God. If we have the spirit of the devil, what would we do? Obey the devil and disobey God. Pretty easy stuff, isn't it? When you think about it. Pretty easy to discern. Do we obey this word here? Do we obey this? Or do we at least try our very best? I mean, obedience is trying to obey. But Satan, he had a different spirit. This is why he was cast down to the earth. And he became prince of the power of the air. And today, he is being given dominion over the earth. Who gave Satan dominion over the earth? Who gave Satan dominion over the earth? Adam and Eve. Because they had dominion. God gave them dominion. And he said, in this day ye shall die. And they did die. They died a spiritual death that day because they became instantly disconnected with God. And they went and they hid themselves. They lost the Spirit. That Spirit would have kept them alive for how long? Forever. They lost the living Spirit of God to keep them alive forever. And in that day, that Spirit departed from them and they died. And God also said that a day is as 1,000 years to him. 1,000 years is as a day found in Peter. And Adam never reached 1,000 years. He never lived a full day in the Lord. So even in the flesh, that was fulfilled. 900 and some odd years old, Adam's life was cut short.